Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do topic-wise questions for IGCSE Edexcel Maths A. We're using exam questions from 2018 to 2025. I've made this playlist where I've divided all of the papers topic-wise, and each video in this playlist focuses on a different topic. This video is going to focus on inverse and direct proportion. This is a part of algebra and proportions. If you're someone who's struggling with trigonometry, angles, algebra, or any other IGCSE Edexcel topic, you can check out this playlist. You'll find several videos, and each video focuses on a different topic with several questions and different levels of difficulty for each topic. So let's start with this one. It says y is inversely proportional to x cubed. Y equals to 4 when x equals to 3. We have to work out the value of x when y is 864. So a very common mistake kids make with these type of questions is that they do not create the equation properly and solve it. They know that in inverse proportion, if one thing is increasing, the other thing will decrease. And in direct proportion, if one thing is increasing, the other will also increase. And if one thing is decreasing, the other will also decrease. But they don't use that concept to create the equation properly. Without creating the equation, your answer will always be incorrect. You cannot assume what the other value will be, because that doesn't always work out in your favor. So first step is to realize that when you talk about inverse proportion, the equation is y equals to k over, in this case, x cubed, because y is inversely proportional to x cubed. So k is being divided by x, whatever like x is, whether it's square root of x, cube root of x, cube of x, x squared, x. It depends on what the question is asking, but it's always going to be y equals to k over x cubed in this case. So it's division. So first, if you notice, they gave us y and they gave us x. These values are given to you so that you can find the value of k. Then you can substitute that value of k back into the equation, and then your equation would just be in terms of x. And then you can substitute the other set of value to find the unknown value. So I'll show you how to do that. So for this question, as I said, we have y equals to k over x cubed as our equation. Y is 4 when x is 3. So we just substituted 4 times 27, which is 108. So y equals to 108 over x cubed. Now we have to work out the value of x when y is 864. So you replace y with 864. So that's going to be 108 divided by 864. That's 125 over 1000. Now we take the cube root on both sides so that we can find the value of x. So x is going to be 5 over 10, which is also 0.5. So main thing is creating your formula first. Without your formula, you cannot solve the question correctly. You'll be just assuming the trend that if this is increasing by this many units, the other one will also increase or decrease by that many units. You can't always be correct with that. So please make sure to make the formula and don't make this mistake of just assuming the values. Now it says b is inversely proportional to the square of d. It's the same thing, but what we are changing now is that the denominator is going to be d square. We're still dividing k by d square, but the only thing that has changed are the variables. b is 0.25 when d is 12. So 0.25 equals to k over 12 square. 0.25 times 12 square, which is going to give us 36. We have the value of k, so b equals to 36 over d square. In this question, they're only asking us to find a formula for b in terms of d. So this is your final answer. They haven't given us another value set, so we don't need to find b when b is something or b when d is something. So we just stop at the formula. And for the formula, you need to find the value of k. You cannot give the formula in terms of k. They will not give you full marks for that. This one says Q is directly proportional to square root of t. The graph shows the relationship between Q and t for t is greater than 0 but less than 8. We have to find a formula for Q in terms of t. So to create a formula for Q in terms of t, we need to find the value of k. Q is directly proportional now. When it's direct proportion, we multiply k with the other variable. So k times root of t now. In inverse, you're dividing. In direct, you're multiplying k. So now you have to pick a set of value from the graph. I prefer whole numbers, so I'm going to take this. So Q is 6 and T is 4. 6 equals to K times root of 4. That's K times 2. So 6 divided by 2 is K, which is 3. So your formula is going to be Q equals to 3 root of T. Simple as that. You create your equation like we did previously. In direct proportion, you multiply by K. And in inverse proportion, you're dividing K by the other variable. Once you've made that equation, you pick your value for Q and T from the graph. It's always advised to go for a whole number because that would make your calculation easier. Substitute it, find the value of K, put the value of K back into the formula, and you have your answer. Then it says Q is increased by 20%. Find the percentage increase in T. As you can see, the question says that Q is increased by 20%. So Q initially exists as 100%. So if we increase it by 20%, it's going to be 120 over 100 times Q equals to 3 root T. So now let's pick a coordinate from the graph again to substitute in this and see what T will be after the 20% increase. So initially when T is 1, Q would be 3. So this is our original value that we're focusing on. So now we're going to see how this is going to change when we're increasing Q by 20%. So we're going to replace Q by 3 and see how that changes the T value with the 20% increase. Cancel out the zeros. 3 divided by 3 would also be 1. So it's 12 over 10 equals to root T. Square both sides. So that's going to be 1.44 equals to T. So initial value of T that we chose was T equals to 1. With the 20% increase in Q, we get T equals to 1.44. So to get the percentage increase in T, we will do 1.44 minus 1, new value minus the old value divided by the old value times 100, which gives us 44%. That is the percentage increase. So to summarize this, first we'll change Q. Initially Q is existing as 100%. If we're increasing by 20%, it becomes 120% of Q. So 120 over 100 times Q equals to 3 root T. Then we pick a coordinate from the graph. So at T equals to 1, Q is 3. So we put Q equals to 3 in the equation and find the value of T after the 20% change in the value of Q. So once we have that, then we find the percentage increase in T, which would be new value minus the old value divided by the old value, then times the fraction by 100, which in our case gives us 44%. And in this question says y is inversely proportional to root of x. Y is equal to c to the power 4 when x is equal to c squared, where c is a positive constant. We have to find a formula for y in terms of x and c, giving your answer in its simplest form. So let's create the equation first. Y is inversely proportional to the root of x. So y is equal to c to the power of 4 when x is equal to c squared. So we replace this and then you find the value of k in terms of c. Square root of c squared is going to be c. So c to the power 4 equals to k over c. Cross multiply. k is going to equal to c to the power of 5. Replace k with c to the power 5 in the equation, and you have a formula for y in terms of x and c. Simple as that. So always remember that you cannot give a formula in terms of k. It will always be in terms of x, or in this case, since they said they want in terms of c as well, so in terms of c. This one says m varies directly as the cube of h. M equals to 4 when h equals to 0.5. Find the value of h when m is equal to 500. So that's directly proportional. So m equals to k times cube of h. So h cube. M is 4 when h is 0.5. Substitute the values and then we find the value of k. So 0.5 cube is going to be 0.125. We divide 4 by 0.125 to get the value of k. That's 32. So m equals to 32 times h cube. We have to find the value of h when m is 500. So replace m with 500. We divide 500 by 32, which equals to h cube. So that's 15.625. And then we will take the cube root on both sides to find the value of h, which gives h as 2.5. So very similar pattern. Like for this, you just need to remember one main distinction. For inverse proportion, it's k divided by the other variable. For direct proportion, it's k times the other variable. You have to read the statement very carefully. Do not miss out the cube, the square root. Because if you just write y equals to k divided by x, and the question says y is inversely proportional to x squared, your answer would be incorrect. So these are very important things. Just read the question very carefully. First, find the equation, then find the value of k, substitute it back, and then find the other variable. This question says y is directly proportional to the cube of x. Y is 20h when x equals to h. H does not equal to 0. Find a formula for y in terms of x and h. So y is directly proportional to cube of x. So y equals to k times cube of x. Y is 20h when x is h. So h cube. So 20h divided by h cube equals to k. That's 20 over h squared. So y would be 20 over h squared times x cubed. That is your formula for y in terms of x and h. Then it says find x in terms of h when y is 67.5h. So 67.5h equals to 20 over h squared times x cubed. They want the value of y in terms of h. So cross multiply and then divide it by 20. So 67.5 divided by 20 is going to be 3.375 h cubed. Now we take the cube root on both sides. That gives us 1.5 as the value of x. Simple as that. In this question says y is inversely proportional to square root of x. X is directly proportional to t cube. Given that y equals to 8 when t equals 25, find the exact value of t when y is equal to 27. So we have two different things happening over here. Y is inversely proportional to root of x. And then x is directly proportional to t cube. So for x, I'm going to use a different proportionality constant. Let's call that a. So a times t cube over here. So we have two different equations. So the common thing between both these equations is x. So what if I replace x with at cubed? When I do that, we have y equals to k over root of at cubed. Now the question says given that y equals to 8 when t equals 25. So y equals to 8 and t equals to 25. Let's substitute that and try to simplify this. So 8 equals to k over root of a times 15,625. If I take the square root of 15,625, that gives me 125. So 8 equals to k over 125 root of a. Now we can cross multiply 8 and 125, and we have k over root a over here. That's 1,000. This is what we have right now. We have to find the exact value of t when y is 27. So what if we use the same equation, this one over here, and I split this up, y equals to k over root a times root of t cubed. We know that k over root a equals to 1,000. So y equals to 1,000 divided by t cubed. Find the value of t when y is 27. So replace y with 27 equals to 1,000 over square root of t cubed. So square root of t cubed equals to 1,000 divided by 27. Then we square both sides to get rid of the square root. So t cubed equals to 1,000,000 divided by 729. So now to get rid of the cube over here, we're going to cube root both sides. So t is going to be 100 divided by 9. Since they want the exact value, so we leave it as a fraction as 100 over 9. We cannot further simplify this. We cannot convert it into decimal. So that's your answer. And with that, we're done with questions for inverse and direct proportions. These are the type of questions you can get for this topic. If you have any questions or confusions, please leave a comment below and I'll help you out. And for someone who understood everything and has better understanding of this topic, please like and subscribe. And do check out the other videos because I have divided them topic-wise and all of the questions are exam questions with different difficulty levels. So it's greatly going to help you in your exam prep.